Today is an impact day for a combination of heat and storms, though not everyone will experience both. Coming up, I want to get you prepared for which one will have an impact on your routine.
It's unfair. A beautiful soul was taken from us.
As mourners prepare to honor a fallen Wyandotte County deputy, there's a national push to protect others in law enforcement. Why the National Fraternal Order of Police wants Congress to step in.
Change is coming today for Kansas City's Animal Control Service. What this means for the KC Pet Project and adoptions and shelters.
This is breaking news from KMBC 9.
We do first want to start with some breaking news that we've been following out of Kansas City, Kansas. There is a standoff between officers and a shooting suspect that's been going on for hours now. KMBC 9's Rachel Ripp is live for us at the scene. And Rachel, what do we know right now?
Yeah, Jamie, still a very active scene out here in Kansas City, Kansas. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see all of these officer cars with lights on still. Here's what we do know. Kansas City, Kansas police say a shots fired call came in around 1:45 this morning at the Bethany Park Towers. That's this apartment complex you're looking at. Police say so far no one has been hit, but there was a man accused of firing his gun, not coming out of this apartment. Again, they've been out here for hours. We've been hearing different noises, glass breaking, loud banging noises. These officers standing right next to this complex, kind of below where this hair salon is. And there's also a gun on this officer's tripod. He's been looking through this viewfinder the last several hours, I would say. We did talk to a few locals who are standing around this area. Some of them are waiting on loved ones who they say are inside. Some of them wanting to avoid going to work until they know that their loved ones are safe. So still waiting to learn more details from the police department and still waiting to see when this standoff will come to an end. Reporting live in Kansas City, Kansas, Rachel Ripp, KMBC 9 News.
Rachel, thank you for bringing us that update. This is, of course, a breaking news story. So as we learn some more information, we'll, of course, bring you that info as we get it online and on air. And again, that online website is kmbc.com. We do, of course, want to thank you for starting your Wednesday morning with us here on First News on KCWE. I am Jamie Weiss. Nick Bender joining us with the First Alert forecast. Busy morning already in the weather department.
It is. It's an impact day. Rain, thunderstorms, and the heat. And that will continue for many communities along and south of Interstate 70 for today. The strongest storms from Marshall, just to the west of Sedalia, are moving east away from Kansas City. So is this much larger area of downpours and thunderstorms. But trailing hit or miss showers and storms continue back to the west near Maryville and Savannah, and will likely continue for the next few hours, though we are drying out right now here in Kansas City with scattered thunderstorms moving to the east there in Warrensburg, Windsor, and Sedalia. And a few showers getting ready to scoot over Smithville Lake, but no rain showing up here across the 435 loop. Though grab your umbrella, your rain jacket if you haven't left for work yet. You may need it later this afternoon as the cold front sweeps through, and that will confine the hottest heat index temperatures up to 110 degrees to south of Interstate 70. And it's still going to be steamy here in Kansas City, just not 110. Cloudy sky right now, dew point values still in the 70s with an air temp of 72 degrees. Dew point values in the 70s this afternoon. Temperatures typical for this time of year around 89, but it's going to make it feel like 100 degrees when you factor in those higher dew points. We're dry at lunchtime, and then as the front moves through after 5 o'clock this afternoon, there is a chance of new or periodic or hit or miss showers and thunderstorms, some of which could produce downpours, Johnny, perhaps some strong wind gusts.
All right, Nick. Yeah, we had a little bit of that to begin the rush hour this morning. Thankfully, all that moved out. The very scattered showers we had no longer there, and I think all of the roads really pretty much dried out. Taking a look here at I-470 westbound View High Drive. It's going to be the eastbound run there on the right shoulder, almost at eastbound lanes, but that vehicle is well off to the right shoulder and not going to be a factor for you right there before you start exiting 450 highway. And with that, the Scout folks said not to worry about that, so let's take a look at the westbound run. It looks good to the triangle, and as you can see, still a little bit of dampness there between the lanes, but that's going to be it, otherwise dry. Back to you in the studio.
Johnny, appreciate the update there. Thank you. Let's go ahead and check in on drive times because we are seeing some slowdowns around the metro. Brief delay on I-35 southbound from the merge into downtown Kansas City, and then a little bit slower on 435 westbound from the Triangle into Overland Park. wide open along I-70 this morning. Well, support continues to pour in for colleagues and loved ones of Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Elijah Ming. He was shot and killed in the line of duty on Saturday. The local police union, the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 40, has set up a memorial fund for Deputy Ming. You can donate at any of the 5 public safety credit unions across the metro, and all of the money raised will support Deputy Ming's family. FOP President Devin Baird says he hopes bills are the last thing on his family's mind.
This is a time for us all to come together and do something for the family to try and take a burden off of them during these trying times.
If you can't make it out to one of the credit unions, you can also donate through Venmo. Just scan this QR code here on your screen. We even have a link to donate on our website, kmbc.com. The community is going to get another chance to pay their respects to Deputy Ming tonight. The Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office and the Unified Government will be hosting a candlelight vigil. They're hoping for a strong turnout. It'll get started at 8:30 tonight outside of the Wyandotte County Courthouse. Parking will be available, and the fire department will be helping transport people who cannot walk long distances. The man accused of killing Deputy Ming could face the death penalty.
It's important to note that the crime of capital murder is punishable by life in prison and or the death penalty.
Wyandotte County District Attorney Mark Dupree announced his office has charged Sean Harris with capital murder and possession of a weapon by a felon. Dupree's office now has 9 days to decide if they want to seek the death penalty. Keep in mind, no one has been executed in Kansas in 60 years. We talked to a defense attorney that's not involved in this case. He says it's much more difficult to get a death penalty conviction than life in prison. But he says one reason to pursue this is the message it sends to the community.
There are certain things you can do in our community that if you do them, you forfeit your right to live among us. And that is what our death penalty is for.
Death penalty convictions often end up being appealed to the Supreme Court and then changed to life in prison sentences. The county prosecutor says he is going to consider what Ming's family thinks of the death penalty to help him make his decision. The National Fraternal Order of Police is demanding Congress do more to protect law enforcement officers. The group shared a statement saying its president is outraged by the shootings of 10 officers over the past 6 days. 3 of them, including Deputy Ming, were killed. The FOP wants lawmakers to pass the Protect and Serve Act, which would create a new federal offense for anyone who willingly attacks a law enforcement officer. The House passed this back in 2018, but never got further than there. It's been reintroduced in both the Senate and the House, but neither bill is scheduled for any action. We'll continue to follow any developments when it comes to Deputy Ming's funeral and the case against the man accused of killing him. Stay with us on air and online at kmbc.com. A Cass County man is facing charges after a standoff at a house in the Loch Lloyd area. This happened Sunday night. Cass County Sheriff's deputies were called to a home on Loch Lloyd Parkway for a domestic violence call. Sheriff's deputies tell us Richard Catarini pointed a gun at family members and then threatened to kill them. Deputies say when they got there, he would not come out of the home. He stayed inside for 2 hours until he gave up and was arrested. He's facing multiple charges, including unlawful use of a weapon and armed criminal action. Breaking overnight, one of the biggest earthquakes on record has millions of people along the Pacific bracing for the threat of a tsunami. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off the coast of Russia on Tuesday, which triggered tsunami warnings and evacuations in more than 20 countries. In Hawaii, officials have downgraded the alert from a tsunami warning to an advisory, but still, leaders are telling people they need to get to higher ground.
We would not be doing this if this wasn't most serious at this point in time. So please take this very seriously, and don't go down to the beach. Don't be looking at waves. Get yourself as high as you possibly can.
Parts of Alaska and the entire West Coast are under tsunami warnings or advisories right now. And when we look at just the magnitude of the earthquake that led to all of this, Nick, we were getting reports that it was even felt in Kansas.
They did. It shook the earth. I mean, they picked it up on seismographs, all across the planet, and that includes here in Kansas City. Wow. I've not had any reports of any destructive tsunamis in Hawaii along the West Coast or Alaska. The destructive tsunami was confined near the epicenter, near the coast of Russia. But I got to think that there's still going to be a lot of ebbs and flows there for Hawaii, the West Coast, Alaska, rip currents, that type of thing for the next few days. Grab an umbrella this morning. You're going to need it. probably later this afternoon or this evening in Kansas City. It's one of those types of deals. We're just trying to get you prepared for what's to come. And that is a cold front, which will result in periodic off and on showers and storms after 5 o'clock in the evening here in Kansas City. It still is going to be a hot and humid day. Even with the clouds, it's still just going to be really humid. Heat index values around 100 degrees. Chance of showers and storms will continue overnight as the cold front sweeps all the way through down into Oklahoma and Arkansas. That is going to bring the relief you've been waiting for, Jamie, from the heat and humidity. Highs in the 70s beginning tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cannot wait. Thank you, Nick. Well, today, for the first time in 5 years, Animal Control Services in Kansas City, Missouri will return to city control. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine explains from KC Pet Project. They've been running animal control up until now.
So we're clear here, the KC Pet Project over the last few years has done both animal control services and shelter and adoption services. Well, they're still going to be in the shelter and adoption end of things, but with the city bringing online today its new Animal Services Division, the city will assume responsibility for animal control operations and the enforcement of animal-related city ordinances. This two-pronged approach, Mayor Quinton Lucas says in a statement, will provide responsive and strong animal care services to the city. Goes on to say will also ensure humane treatment of animals and some consistent enforcement of our laws. So with this new service online, how would you report a problem if you see one? Well, you can simply go to the 311 hotline of the city, report the problem there. You can also use the MyKCMO website or app. Martin Augustine, KMBC 9 News.
I'm Amy Lou in Washington with the role President Trump's tariffs are playing on whether the Fed will lower interest rates today.
Today is an impact day. Stay connected with First Alert Weather. KMBC 9 News, leading the way.
Welcome back. It is 8:14. I think 8:13 maybe. Well, pretty close, one way or the other. And here's a look at your first alert traffic. We're not really seeing any major problems. It looks like some construction vehicles that are beginning to arrive on the scene here on the right shoulder of 635. Maybe some pending work going on there. But what we wanted to show you was the two vehicles on the left side. That'll be northbound 635 here at about Swartz Road, just before you get up to I-70 Kansas Avenue, across the river there. And right now, I don't know, maybe changing a tire, something like that going on, but they are well off to the right shoulder. Traffic through there really light, and we've talked about that. Yeah, we're already starting to see that last minute vacation before school, lighter traffic. And today, obviously, we are already there on 635 for sure. Back to you in the studio.
Johnny, thank you. The U.S. Department of Justice wants more information to be unsealed in the Jeffrey Epstein case. In a filing last night, Attorney General Pam Bondi pointed to public interest for a judge to consider releasing additional records. Well, last week, a judge had said he was legally barred from doing that because public interest does not fall under the limited exceptions of the law. There's growing public pressure, but President Trump has been asked several times about the Epstein files, his friendship with Epstein, and if he knew anything about the alleged sex trafficking. Today, the Federal Reserve is likely to keep interest rates the same for the fifth straight time. Amy Lou is watching its concerns from Washington.
The Fed is hesitant to change interest rates largely due to one factor: uncertainty over President Donald Trump's tariffs. The Fed says most economic data are in a good place. Inflation has come down significantly from a post-pandemic spike and is about 3% over the past year. The job market remains healthy despite a slowdown in hiring and higher employment. Lower interest rates would make it cheaper to borrow money for car loans and credit cards, but could lead to a spike in inflation. The Fed says it's waiting for clearer signs of how the economy and businesses react to President Trump's tariffs and if they'll pass along the cost of those added import taxes to customers before deciding on a rate change.
One of the reasons why businesses may be eating some of the tariff right now is because of the sheer uncertainty about where tariff policy will be. And so that may just be a temporary decision.
President Trump, who wants 1% interest rates, is putting new tariffs on most American trading partners on Friday. Meanwhile, the Fed is considering lowering rates later on this year, but not nearly as much. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou.
Today marks the start of hearings on Capitol Hill over January's deadly crash near Ronald Reagan Airport in Washington, D.C. 67 people were killed when a military helicopter hit a commercial jet near the airport. The NTSB is investigating the crash and holding hearings. Representatives from the Army, the FAA, and air traffic controllers will testify about what went wrong. A popular spot for people and pooches has closed its doors for good. Barquet announced its closure this week. We'll fill you in on the challenge it says drove this decision.
The break in excessive heat and humidity is within sight. Coming up, I want to show you the moment that relief will be felt in your community.
It is 8:20 on this Wednesday morning. It is another First Alert Weather Impact Day because it's going to be another hot day on tap. But Nick is also tracking thunderstorms around the metro right now. Coming up, he's going to show you who will need to prepare for some rain today. Dog lovers, this one hits close to home. Barkay and the Riverfront announced on Tuesday they are closing their doors for good. On their website, Barkay points to economic challenges and massive construction projects as their main reason for closing. But the sudden closure has shocked so many in the community.
It's more just saddened, knowing that such a great place is leaving Kansas City. We've been able to work with them. We know they have great hearts over there, some great folks who really want to build that bond between pets and people, and it's sad to see them go.
We reached out to Barkay management, but they did not return our emails. While construction downtown is meant to expand access through the city, many people think the area won't be utilized very often until that construction is complete. The Kansas City Royals were able to even up the series with the Atlanta Braves yesterday. The boys in blue got the scoring started with a homer from Vinny Pasquantino.
Blasted to right. Hooking. It stays fair, and the Royals lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
That homer put the Royals up in the first inning, and they would add 3 more in the third. 5 more in the sixth, wins them 9-6. The offensive output was something manager Matt Cotrero really enjoys.
Yeah, well, runs are big, so I don't care how we get them, whether we drive them in from first or from home plate, whatever it is. But yeah, we talk about that stat a lot, right? And it's a volatile stat, and it swings game to game. It swings week to week, month to month. We know we struggled on it early. When you have games like this, it should be good for guys' confidence.
The Royals and the Braves will wrap up their series today. Angel Zerpa will be on the mound for the boys in blue. First pitch is set for 1:10 this afternoon. And that's an interesting time for this game, Nick, because still going to be crazy hot, but it sounds like we're just going to be dodging showers.
It is. It's going to be more. It's not going to be as hot as yesterday. We had the hottest day of the year yesterday, 96 degrees. But it still is going to feel very humid. But relief is on the way. Yeah, this is just a preview of what's to come for tomorrow, my friends. Highs in the 70s, but it's going to be a hot and steamy day before we get there first, and it's going to be a rainy and stormy day for some. Right now here in Sedalia, it's raining. Thunderstorms behind this little outflow boundary from Marshall down to Sedalia, and then we have trailing showers and a few thunderstorms back to the west there, north of 36 Highway, along 136 Highway, Bethany to Maryville, and then a big area of rain and storms moving away into northeastern Missouri. And we're drying out now here in Kansas City, but if you're just getting ready to leave, head out the front door, grab an umbrella or a rain jacket. I'd opt for the umbrella. You might need it later this afternoon as that cold front sweeps through, confining the heat index values of 110 degrees to just south of Kansas City. So that's where the really nasty heat's going to be bottled up today. Here in the metro, still going to be a very humid afternoon, just not as oppressive as the last few days. It is 72 degrees right now. The dew point value is 71. So it's still humid because the dew points are in the 70s. And as temperatures climb to their typical values for this time of year for the next 12 hours, 89 degrees, it's going to feel more like the low 100s later this afternoon. Once the cold front sweeps through, periodic showers and thunderstorms will fire back up again after 5 o'clock this evening. So if you have outdoor plans during that time, you've got your umbrella with you already because you brought it with you from work this morning. But that front's going to push through, and here's the change we got to get ready for. Much cooler temperatures, well below normal, 10 to 15 degrees below normal. So that's going to put our highs in the 70s into Saturday. Typical heat and humidity will return on Sunday. So let's skip ahead here over the next 24 hours. Periodic showers and thunderstorms this afternoon with the chance of additional storms overnight. And now those might continue into early tomorrow morning, but I don't think they're going to have that much of an impact on our drive for tomorrow morning. So let's go back in here to turn on my 9-day forecast. Somehow that got turned off. That's an important graphic. I don't want to skip that. Here's the 9-day tomorrow. Look at that. 75 degrees. There's a chance of a few showers and storms early in the morning, but then highs only reach into the mid-70s later in the afternoon with a cloudy sky and a northeast breeze. Comfortable conditions. The humidity is really going to be knocked down on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It starts to creep back up. So for next week, highs returning to their typical summer values in the low to mid 80s with a chance of showers and storms on Monday and Tuesday. All right, now mostly cloudy, no rain showers here in the vicinity, but a few additional ones are possible later today.
My office charged Sean Harris with 1 count of capital murder and 1 count of criminal possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
The Wyandotte County District Attorney Mark Dupree announced charges yesterday against Sean Harris in Deputy Elijah Ming's death. He now has 9 days to decide whether to pursue the death penalty for the capital murder charge. He says he'll consider what the Ming family wants when making his decision. There are currently 9 people on death row in Kansas, but the state has not executed anyone in 60 years. There will be a vigil tonight to honor the fallen Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Elijah Ming. That vigil will start at 8:30 in front of the county courthouse in KCK. If you'd like to take your support a step further, you can even donate to a fund that was set up by the Fraternal Order of Police, all to benefit Ming's family. We've got all that information online right now. Just visit KMBC.com. Nick Bender, it is an impact day. For what reason?
Heat and storms, Jamie. Not everyone will experience both. We had a big area thunderstorm sweep through earlier this morning. Still some stronger storms there east of Marshall down to Sedalia, and light rain showers across far northern Missouri. It's probably the strongest storm right there, right over Sedalia. Lots of lightning, but not severe. Here in Kansas City, we're drying out, but the ground's still saturated. So as temperatures rise to near 90 degrees, it will be another humid day with heat index values just above 100 degrees. After 5 o'clock this afternoon into this evening, as the cold front sweeps through, there will be an additional chance of scattered downpours and thunderstorms. Some storms could produce gusty winds, brief heavy rain. As the front pushes all the way through by tomorrow morning, that will end the heat and humidity for all of our communities through Saturday and Sunday. We're talking morning lows 50s and 60s and highs in the mid 70s. This is going to be a big relief for our bodies, for our moods, and for our air conditioners, our electric bills. Beginning next week on Monday, return to more typical summer temperatures.
Breaking news in Kansas City, Kansas. Officers are in an active standoff with a man suspected of firing a gun and refusing to surrender. We're live from the scene with updates.
Today is an impact day for heat and thunderstorms, though everyone won't experience both of those threats. Coming up, which one you need to be prepared for today.
Tonight, the Wyandotte County community will gather to honor the deputy killed in the line of duty. We're getting you prepared to show your support for the family of Deputy Elijah Ming.
KMBC 9 News on KCWE starts now.
Well, good Wednesday morning, and thanks so much for joining us on First News on KCWE. I am Jamie Weiss. Nick Bender, you're breaking down the forecast for us. It was a couple hours ago, I think during the 6 o'clock show, we just kept hearing boom,
Yeah,
boom,
a lot of thunder.
boom. Quiet now.
And now it's quiet. Now
Love how that changes.
First round of storms are over here in Kansas City. Still probably hearing those booms there in Sedalia. Got a big thunderstorm over you right now behind a rain-cooled outflow boundary. So there's no risk of severe weather there in Sedalia. Though again, you're probably hearing a lot of thunder. Light scattered rain showers falling now across far northern Missouri from Trenton, Bethany, back to Maryville, Savannah. Again, no risk of severe weather with those showers. All that lightning there you see there in Sedalia, I bet you it's real loud right now. And that's going to move out in the next 20 or 30 minutes or so, and you'll be left with this, what we have here in Kansas City. A mostly cloudy sky, a little bit of blue in there, and dew points in the 70s. So it is still humid this morning, though the rain has cooled off the temperatures a bit. It's 72 degrees right now. Look ahead on the 12-hour forecast today in Kansas City. Temperatures climbing to 89, 90 degrees, and with dew points in the 70s. It is going to be another humid day here in the metro. Heat index values are going to climb just above 100, and the cold front coming through late in the day after 5 o'clock will result in renewed scattered showers and thunderstorms that could possibly impact your late day plans. Some of the stronger storms may produce a downburst type wind, 45, 55 miles an hour, and brief heavy rain. Now that cold front will drop the temperatures 10 to 15 degrees below normal Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that means highs only in the 70s. What a break after the last 3 days. Typical heat returns, Johnny, beginning Sunday.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. As we take a look at your first alert traffic, not looking bad right now. No big accidents or big delays to report. No issues at all, other than a couple of stalled cars here and there. And we've got those stalled vehicles. Looks like a work van maybe and an SUV behind that. This is not reported to be an accident. A little suspicious or coincidental that we have two vehicles there at the same time. Hopefully it's not a debris in the road issue where they hit something. They both hit something. But right now, regardless of why they are there, it is not causing any kind of a slowdown. Wrapping up this rush hour in pretty good shape. Still a little bit of time to go here. We'll keep you posted, and hopefully we're home free on this one. Back to you in the studio.
Johnny, thank you. Let's go ahead and check in on drive times this morning because we have been dealing with some slowdowns around the metro. Right now, brief delay on I-35 southbound from the Northland into downtown Kansas City. A similar delay along 435 westbound from the Triangle into Overland Park. But the good news is I-70 is wide open. We, of course, do want to get to that breaking news out of Kansas City, Kansas, where police are in the middle of a standoff. They have been for hours now. KMBC 9's Rachel Ripp is live there at the scene off Central Avenue. Rachel, what are we looking at right now?
Yeah, so this is actually a picture of that window and of that apartment complex where this suspect is alleged to be. We just actually saw him throwing some stuff out the window. That window is broken. The glass is broken as well. Here's what we do know from police. KCK police say a shots fired call came in around 1:45 this morning at the Bethany Park Towers. That's this complex you're looking at. Police say so far no one has been hit, but this man accused of firing this gun has not been coming out of this apartment. Again, we've been at this scene for several hours now. We're seeing a little bit more activity. Just literally 5 minutes ago, he started throwing these items out of the window. But we got here around 6:30 this morning. We've been hearing glass breaking, loud bang noises, and these officers have been standing by with their cars, with scopes, with guns, trying to, get this man out of the apartment. We saw some people, going through as well earlier. We've learned that was the maintenance manager of the apartment. We've also got some relatives that are nearby standing next to us who are waiting for their loved ones to get confirmation that they are safe as well before they go back to work. So, Still stuff to be learned at this scene here, but we'll be sure to bring you the latest here on KMBC. Reporting in Kansas City, Kansas, Rachel Ripp, KMBC 9 News.
Rachel, thank you. And of course, with this scene, as we get more information, we'll be sure to bring it to you. Right now, the Wyandotte County District Attorney is considering pursuing the death penalty for Sean Harris. That's the man charged with killing Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Elijah Ming. He's now charged with capital murder and criminal possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The capital murder charge alone carries the possibility of a life sentence. Harris's attorneys have entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. The DA has 9 more days to make a decision on the death penalty. The community will get another chance to pay their respects to Deputy Ming tonight. The Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office and the Unified Government are hosting a candlelight vigil. They're hoping for a strong turnout. It all starts at 8:30 p.m. outside the Wyandotte County Courthouse. Parking will be available, and the fire department is helping transport people who can no longer walk long distances. You can donate to a fund that was set up by the Fraternal Order of Police to benefit Ming's family. We have all the information online right now. That's KMBC.com. The Surviving Spouse and Family Endowment Fund, also known as SAFE, has already given $40,000 to Deputy Ming's family just to help them with funeral and living expenses. SAFE offers support to families of first responders who die in the line of duty. That fund has helped the families of Kansas City firefighter paramedic Graham Hoffman, Independence officer Cody Allen, Fairway officer Jonah Oswald, and too many others. The group's director says it's important to help grieving families quickly.
We can't bring back their loved one. We can't, there's, nothing we can do to, take away that terrible grief and that sense of loss that they have. But if we can do something, if SAFE can do something, to make sure that they're not worried about the money, then, that's important to us.
SAFE will also offer long-term assistance to families who need it. Much of SAFE's funding comes from the annual Guns and Hoses boxing fundraiser that we cover every year. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story as prosecutors build their case and tributes pour in for Deputy Ming. We'll have updates on air and online at KMBC.com. Records suggest that the Family Dollar store on Broadway Boulevard in Kansas City, Missouri may have gone nearly 10 years without important repairs. The roof of the store collapsed on Sunday, killing a man. Our investigative team found that after a car had crashed into the Family Dollar 9 years ago, there was no record of the property owner applying for a repair permit. There's also no photographic evidence that the support beam damaged in that crash was ever replaced. A man who lives in the area says employees were worried the drooping building could collapse.
I would see the manager. She would be out there taking photographs of the building at the areas that were falling loose. And she did that over a period of time up until the day that it collapsed. And she was very concerned about it.
A store manager who didn't want to be identified tells us she reported issues with the roof's condition multiple times. Kansas City, Missouri officials are now investigating the lack of repairs. It is 8:39 on this First Alert Weather Impact Day. And Nick, I feel like today is the epitome of the winds of change are coming through.
The winds are trying. They are certainly trying. Now, for some communities, especially south of Kansas City, it's still going to be just a sweltering day. Heat index values up at 110. Here in the metro, feel like temperatures around 100 degrees this afternoon, but a bit more cloud cover throughout the day. You can already notice that right now from the showers and storms that moved through earlier in the morning. And there is another chance of periodic thunderstorms late this afternoon, this evening, as the cold front sweeps through after 5 o'clock. You need to be ready for hit or miss downpours and thunderstorms, which will continue off and on in spots overnight. As the front sweeps all the way south for tomorrow, and I'm talking down into Oklahoma and Arkansas, it will bring widespread relief to all of our communities from the excessive heat and humidity that we've been experiencing since the weekend. Highs will fall into the mid-70s on Thursday and Friday, and the humidity will finally be a lot more tolerable. Jamie.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Nick. Well, today, for the first time in 5 years, Animal Control Services in Kansas City, Missouri will return to city control. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine was at KC Pet Project this morning, which had been running animal control until now.
So we're clear here, the KC Pet Project over the last few years has done both animal control services and shelter and adoption services. Well, they're still going to be in the shelter and adoption end of things, but with the city bringing online today its new Animal Services Division, the city will assume responsibility for animal control operations and the enforcement of animal-related city ordinances. This two-pronged approach, Mayor Quinton Lucas says in a statement, will provide responsive and strong animal care services to the city. Goes on to say will also ensure humane treatment of animals and some consistent enforcement of our laws. So with this new service online, how would you report a problem if you see one? Well, you can simply go to the 311 hotline of the city, report the problem there. You can also use the MyKCMO website or app. Martin Augustine, KMBC 9 News.
Martin, thank you. The Kansas City Chiefs are working to give QB1 some more protection. They are shaping up the offensive line at training camp, how they're addressing one of the team's biggest weaknesses. And investigators are learning more about the deadly attack inside a New York City office building this week. We'll explain the big clue they just discovered.
The break of excessive heat and humidity is within sight. Coming up, when you'll begin to feel relief in your community.
Exclusive First Alert live Doppler radar positioned at New Century Air Center, providing your fastest track as storms approach. KMBC 9 First Alert Weather.
And welcome back. It is 8:44. Taking a look at your First Alert traffic north of Liberty here. It's I-35 at County Road A, which you probably don't know. To the top of the screen there, northbound I-35 exiting 69 Highway, headed up towards Excelsior that way, and points to the north. But yeah, looking at right now, a vehicle that may have overturned here in the median between the north and southbound lanes. Now, southbound is coming towards us. That would be headed down towards Liberty, and 291 Highway, a little bit slow through there. So too for northbound. Looks like southbound is going to be about a 5 or 10 minute drive time delay. Northbound just a few minutes getting by. Technically, no lanes are blocked, but yeah, a lot of activity. And I'm sure, again, if that vehicle overturned, it could be quite a sight. And I understand why people would be slowing down to take a look. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9. Back to you in the studio.
Johnny, thank you. We want to get back to some breaking news from overnight. We are watching as tsunami alerts are still in effect in parts of the U.S. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off the eastern coast of Russia last night, sparking these warnings. Now, this is video we're watching from Hawaii on Oahu's North Shore, where water from the waves spilled into a parking lot. The alert there has now been downgraded to an advisory, but at least one tsunami warning is still in effect for Northern California's coast. The rest of the West Coast now under advisories as well. Fortunately, we have seen no reports of any major damage or deaths. The search continues for a man suspected of killing a couple on a state park hiking trail Saturday. Arkansas State Police released a new photo of a man they want to bring in for questioning in the killing of Clinton and Kristen Brink. In that photo, he is dressed in black, looking away from the camera, but they've also released these composite sketches of the possible suspect. A close friend of the couple spoke with our sister station in Northwest Arkansas, talking about the type of people they were.
They were great people. Just great, down-to-earth people. They weren't judgmental. They were very accepting of everybody.
The Brinks were killed while on a hike with their daughters. The girls were not hurt and are now with family. Investigators have found a second note that was left behind by the man who opened fire in a Manhattan office building Monday. He killed 4 people, then himself. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has an update.
A prayer vigil last night for the 4 victims of the deadly mass shooting inside a New York City office tower. Officer Didarul Islam, who was working an extra shift, Wesley LePatner, who worked for Blackstone, and security guard Alan Etienne, and Julia Hyman, who worked on the 33rd floor.
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter by a weapon of mass destruction designed to kill people on the battlefield, not in our buildings here in the great city of New York. That era must end.
Crews seen boarding up broken window panes in the lobby of 345 Park Avenue. The NFL now keeping its offices there closed through the end of next week. Food and personal items left behind from people running as the gunman approached. This man was across the street.
All of a sudden see a guy walking with an M4. You would think, say something. You know, nobody on Park Avenue said anything. Everybody, I'm literally watching the man walk up to the building stairs. I'm standing right underneath the stairs where he's getting ready to shoot. No one says a thing.
We're learning new information about the gunman, 27-year-old Shane Tamura, who walked into that building, opening fire on his way in.
We're getting multiple calls from 345 Park Avenue.
Making it to the 33rd floor, where he continued his shooting rampage before turning the gun on himself. Police now investigating a second note from the gunman found in Las Vegas. Sources telling ABC News it includes an apology to his parents. And ABC News has learned the gunman's father was an officer with the Los Angeles Police Department before retiring in 2017. Authorities believe Tamura was targeting the NFL's headquarters, but took the wrong elevator bank up, instead going to the offices of Rudin Management. This second note comes after the discovery of a 3-page note in Tamura's pocket, in which sources say he blamed the NFL for his traumatic brain injury, saying on this page, "Study my brain, please. I'm sorry." Tamura played in high school in Southern California, but never professionally. Officials are still trying to figure out how he obtained the gun used in the attack, an M4-style rifle. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Time now is 8:49, and today the City of Kansas City, Missouri and DoorDash will celebrate 10 local businesses graduating from the Small Business Accelerator program. It's a city program that connects business owners with resources and mentorship. That way they can thrive. This year's graduates include Fifth and Emery Frozen Yogurt and Chocolate, Ruby Jean's Juicery, Sauced, and 00 Handmade Pasta. Big congrats to those local companies. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the thick of it when it comes to training camp, so fans are closely watching what's happening with the Chiefs offensive line as the team works to protect Patrick Mahomes. Josh Simmons has been taking the reps at left tackle and seems to be solidifying his role. The left guard spot is now up for grabs. Former tackle Kingsley Suamataia has been moved to guard. He's still learning. Right now, he's relying on one of the best players in the league.
I'm right behind him. Hey Trey. So I'm over there in his ear every day, every second, just trying to get myself better at my craft so I can help this team.
Well, training camp continues this morning with the linebackers signing autographs. Keep in mind, no practice tomorrow, but the team is back on the field Friday with autographs from defensive backs. Saturday is Family Fun Day, and tickets are sold out. Sunday will cost you $6 to go to all practices, and they all start at 9:15. The Power and Light District will once again be hosting watch parties for every Chiefs game this season. That includes the preseason games. They're coming up. The first watch party is on August 9th. Keep in mind, the preseason games will not have a cover charge. But to kick off the regular season games on September 5th, P&L will be hosting the Coca-Cola Game Day Season Opener Block Party. It starts at 5 that evening. Doors to every watch party will open 2 hours before kickoff. The Kansas City Current are keeping some more star players around. Defender Kayla Sharples just signed a 2-year extension. That means she'll be staying in the teal and red through the 2027 season. Sharples was traded to the Current last year mid-season, and she has been an essential part of the team's defense ever since. She has started in every single game she's played in. Sharples said she's beyond proud to call Kansas City home, and she says, "I believe in what we're building here." League play returns this weekend after a month-long international break. The Current is on the road Friday playing Racing Louisville. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. So it'll be nice, Nick, to see some more soccer back here at home. But first, we got to get through this change in the forecast.
Now we have one more day of heat and humidity. feel some significant changes for the rest of the week into the weekend. This morning, rain and thunderstorms have swept through. We have some lingering rain showers and a few weak thunderstorms along 136 highway from Trenton back to Maryville. Those will continue for much of the morning. The strongest storm is here in Sedalia. Look at all that lightning there right now. Really loud thunderstorm in Sedalia. Give it another 15 minutes or so and that storm will move to your east. Here in Kansas City, we're drying out, but additional storms are possible late this afternoon and this evening as a cold front comes through. So it's heat and storms that are the impact for today. We've already felt some of the stormy impacts. The heat will come this afternoon, especially south of Kansas City, where the heat index could climb to 110 degrees. And then as the front moves through, there will be periodic downpours and storms late this afternoon into this evening. Some of those storms could produce 45 to 55 mile-an-hour wind gusts after 5 o'clock this afternoon here on our 12-hour forecast in Kansas City. Kind of a typical high for the day, 89 degrees, but when you factor in just how muggy it is, it'll feel like 100 to 102 degrees here in the metro and then much hotter farther to the south. As that cold front pushes through tonight, I mean all the way through, down in Oklahoma and Arkansas, a significant change in temperature and humidity will begin tomorrow. As we look at Thursday's hour by hour, a few lingering showers or a thunderstorm early tomorrow morning. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Our morning lows this week have been above 75. It's incredible what it's going to feel like for tomorrow. And with a northeast breeze, that's also going to scour out a lot of that thicker humidity. So it's going to feel a lot more comfortable. On Friday and Saturday and Sunday morning, lows in the 50s and 60s. That is well below normal for this time of year. Highs in the mid to upper 70s through Sunday. It will begin to start to feel typical hot and humid for the start of next week. With a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Monday, we're back into the mid to upper 80s, closing in on 90 degrees for the end of next week with another chance of storms next Wednesday. That's the first week of August, so that kind of heat is nothing uncommon. But the heat today, yeah, it is, especially south of Interstate 70 where the feel-like temperature could peak 110 degrees in spots. Be ready for additional scattered downpours and thunderstorms. Those could be just about anywhere. They won't be long-lasting, but where they pop up, they will have an impact. Got to be inside when that thunder roars. And then the cold front overnight will bring long-lasting relief from the heat and humidity that we have felt over the last few days for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into your Sunday.
We're following breaking news. We just learned after a 6+ hour standoff, a suspect is now in custody. Kansas City, Kansas police have been trying to get a man to surrender after he was suspected of shooting at people, then refusing to come out of an apartment on Central Avenue. Again, we have just learned he is now in custody. No one was hurt in this situation. Today, after 5 years, Kansas City, Missouri will take over animal control services from KC Pet Project. Right now, the city has 15 full-time animal control officers on staff as part of a new animal services division. You'll be able to get in touch with the division by calling 311. The city council approved that change back in March. Last night, the Kansas City Royals were able to even up the series with the Atlanta Braves. The boys in blue got the scoring started with a homer from Vinny Pasquantino.
Blasted to right. Hooking. It stays fair, and the Royals lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
The homer put the Royals up in the first inning. They would add 3 more in the third, 5 more in the sixth to win 9-6. So the Royals and the Braves will wrap up their series today. Angel Zerpa will be on the mound for Boys in Blue. First pitch set for 1:10 this afternoon. Nick, what is the weather going to be like for that game?
It's going to be really humid, Jamie. Today's an impact day for heat, humidity, and thunderstorms. We've already experienced one of those impacts. It was a stormy morning. You heard the thunder woke you up earlier this morning. Showers and storms persist across far northern Missouri, and the strongest storm is just now starting to slide out of Sedalia. That was a pretty strong storm with a lot of lightning. Look ahead on the 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City. Temperatures rising into the upper 80s, near 90, with heat index values in the low 100s. So it still is going to be a steamy day here in Kansas City. There's another chance of showers and thunderstorms after 5 o'clock this afternoon as the cold front pushes through overnight into early tomorrow morning. That will bring sweeping changes to the temperature and the humidity for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Morning lows 50s and 60s, highs in the 70s.